Good morning, sports fans.
Good morning. Do you know what time? You got a clock?
We're on daylight saving time or what?
I don't know what it's. My watch says 1 o'clock here. I don't know what time it really is. They've changed times on us. Well, you had warm weather out there, didn't you?
It was nice.
Yeah, and
it was. I won't say it was warm. It wasn't cold. It was just short sleeve. It was perfect.
Okay, but looked like the Chevrolet's done it again. But the Ford was. Harvick was just his driving style on that racetrack. He just.
It's hard to say because if the 5 car was out front, he ran off and left 24 out front. The 4 car, when he got out front, he outran. The aero deal is so messed up on them cars, they can't even get close to each other.
Well, that's they claim they had a different package, and I don't know what.
Well,
but still, yet the Hendricks cars
the
was
package was almost a second slower this year than it was last year.
Yeah.
And the race went along, and it was just the 3 cars just went off and left everybody. And then when they had that last caution and stuff, a bunch of the good cars got shuffled back, and you had some guys that's running 5th or 6th, wound up running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And it just really messes up a race because that was not the race. It just happened to be the end in it.
Well, it's just a bleed off of what happened at Las Vegas. Same thing. A late caution changed everything out there too.
Well,
exactly.
It does. And if you look back, I don't know if every race this year there's been a caution with 10, 15 laps ago.
Yeah.
Changes the whole complexity of the race. So you sit there and you watch the race and you say, okay, this is the race and these are the cars, and then all of a sudden. You just throw that away and they start all over again with 2 or 3 laps to go, and then people go everywhere. Especially at Phoenix, where they go say I made a breast down the front
I can't
stretch.
count that high.
And then they all got to go back in.
Yeah, and just think that's where the championship's going to be decided in November.
By then, the cars are going to be a little bit more competitive with each other.
Yeah, they'll be. They certainly learn from this, but
the track they separated the cars really quick. I mean, there was 3 or 4 of them that got off, and then there was a big group of them, and then there was another group of them.
It was certainly different to watch on television. Of course, I hadn't been a couple of 3 weeks, and you've been out there, and it's certainly different watching it on television than being there. Hopefully I get to go to Atlanta this week. But Harvick was the show. They had to keep up with his progressive through the race, and he just kept.
Harvick's car wasn't as quick on brand new tires, and the guys would get half a straightaway or something ahead of it, and then every lap he just little bit kept coming, and then when he got in front, he was the best car then.
But you said Harvick's car. And it had to be a pretty good car, but Harvick made the car good. That's Harvick's style.
That's Harvick's best racetrack.
Yeah.
And no matter where how bad the car is running, he gets the very best out of the car. So, he done everything right. They just had a caution, cost him a race.
Yep, and of course you've been there and done that too, and of course some of them come to you that way too.
You win a few and lose a few.
But the big one when '79 at Daytona, there's never been one much bigger than that, the 500. But they had if you look at it, it don't even resemble a racetrack, Richard.
No, it doesn't. Not the way it is. It's
not the way it
completely,
is.
If you just looked at the way it's drawn out, yes. But once you're there and see the racetrack, it's completely different than what it is on a drawing.
Yeah,
it's 3 or 4. It's got 3 or 4 corners, and every one of them's different. It's completely different.
But you can complain about it, but everybody runs on the same track,
and everybody's got the same chance.
And they're gonna have a race, and they're gonna have a winner. And but the grandstand's not even in the right place.
Well, one thing about it, when they did put the grandstand where it's at now, used to when we come off the corner and you go down that what's the backstretch now, the sun in your face, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
But when they put the grandstand there, they blocked the sun off, so it makes it easier for the driver.
But I think you ran out there a couple of 3 times when it was still a West Coast track,
Right.
and it was always
But
fun.
it was just a mile track then.
Yeah.
It had 2 straightaways.
Yeah.
Now it's
And,
got one back stretch, and the rest of it's all corner.
But yeah, when they throw that green flag, I can't even count without taking my shoes off how wide they are. But it was certainly entertaining. And there again, the winner was decided by a late caution.
But he was a good car. He was good enough to win the race.
Oh yeah,
The
there's no
second,
question.
third, and fourth guys probably shouldn't have been there.
But and I know Kyle Larson's thinking, what in the world do I have to do to win a race?
Yeah.
But he's still in a good Chevrolet, and seem like the Chevrolets are there now.
Look like Hendricks has got the 24 and the 5 car really, really hooked up.
Yeah, and thinking about Chase, I bet he's really.
Yeah, I imagine he's feeling really bad now because he's as good as what they are.
Yeah, he said,
he
boy,
would have been right in there
I'd
working.
be right in there mixing it up with him.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Chase, and looking to see you back, bud. Is that any better?
That was perfect.
No,
That was really good.
really good. We don't get perfect.
Just